What's going on, everybody? So, this is my car, 2005 Acura RSX Type-S. I picked this thing up pretty cheap, put a lot into it to make it look like this, but we did have to rebuild the engine. It seems like the piston rings were fried. So we did a good engine rebuild on it. We strengthened it up with some ARP head studs, Cometic head gasket, I gapped the rings for boost. This thing is basically ready to get a turbo put on it, and we'll see what she's gonna make. But it's got a Skunk 2 Pro Series intake manifold, Skunk 2 70mm throttle body. It's got an evap delete, a K-Series fuel rail. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. ID 1050 injectors, a K-tune gauge right here, and the K-tune regulator back here. We ran a full return system on this car because I do plan on putting it on E85. It runs down to a AEM flex fuel sensor.
Don't forget about the Hasport mounts, bud.
Yeah. It's going to be running a Honda K-Pro V4. I'm actually waiting on that. Honda seems to be out of stock right now, so we're at a little bit of a standstill. So I figured we start tearing everything down, getting into the turbo kit, because this car is not moving anywhere until it has a turbo on it. Other than that, it has an exhaust. That's about it. Some coilovers. The K-tune shifter I installed a while back. If you want to come around over here, we'll take a shot of that inside. Sparco steering wheel. It's a pretty basic setup, guys. It's a nice budget build for all you guys that really, I guess, don't have the money to go with a full race kit or a Chevy kit or a shmup build kit. Those are all awesome. They come with great manifolds, great downpipes, good material. But for what we're doing here, we didn't really want to opt for that. I'm not trying to make 1,000 horsepower. I'll be happy with, 500 on E85. I'm hoping it makes around there, but it should be all ready to go. I have a set of tires back here because these street tires just aren't going to do it. So I have a set of street tires back here. They're on a 16-inch stock Acura wheel. There's some Falcon Zenuses. I picked them up from a buddy a while back.
And that's the basic overview of the car. Everything that's done to it, and soon to have a turbo on it.
Oh, it's getting a GTX 3582R. The turbo kit came with a turbo, but I opted not to get it. So I'm gonna go with a bigger turbo. It's got a .82 AR. I feel like the .63 would have choked it up a little bit. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just wanted that size turbo specifically. So I'm switching up a couple other things. The wastegate, I'm going with a bigger one. Things like that. Blow off valve, I'll probably switch up. The usual stuff that you don't really want to run from eBay. But that's it.
All right. We'll come back at you soon with a Turbo RSX update.
All right, guys, so as you know, we stuck everything back here, manifold, downpipe, and there's not a lot of room back here. They don't give you a lot of room from the factory because this car was obviously never meant to have a turbo. So right now we're down here moving the wiring harness down, and I'm putting this heat wrap on it. I picked up this is Vibrant heat wrap. This is really good stuff, fairly inexpensive. It's really not that bad, and if you want to save your wiring harness, I suggest getting it. It's good with 2,000 degrees radiant heat. There's going to be no direct fire shooting at this thing, so the radiant heat should be good. I'm also heat wrapping the manifold and the downpipe, like I said, so 2,000 degrees is definitely not an issue. We have to reroute and remake these two heater core lines. This one I'm actually probably going to end up keeping. We're just going to push down and heat wrap all that. We have to make a new one for right here that goes all the way around to the back of the head. And then I'm going to have to wrap this power steering line up here. My fuel line, I had to make a new one that runs down. All this -6AM, we had to drop it a little lower. And then right here, this sensor, this wiring coming up, and all these hoses back here, I'm probably going to end up heat taping just for added security, make sure nothing's gonna burn up back there. But other than that, we have made a lot of room back here. There was stuff running all through here. And as you know, this is right where the manifold comes out. Oddly enough, the only thing that's not in the way is this AC line, which is gonna get deleted anyway. So it's pretty funny how it's like that. Little update, guys. I'm sorry we didn't film all the heat wrapping of the stuff. It's pretty straightforward. Basically anything back here that could interfere with the turbo, the manifold, the downpipe, just get some of this stuff and heat wrap it, push it out of the way, reroute it, stuff like that. Just get it so it's not touching anything. We got a lot of stuff mocked up. The turbo is in, the intercooler piping for the hot side is hooked up. This fits actually perfectly. We did notch the frame over here that like they say in the instructions, but we do have to cut a little bit more out just to make some more space. I think we just cut it wrong. The cold side, I'm gonna have to do a little playing with because the way I have everything set up, it just doesn't want to fit right now. And the downpipe that I was afraid of actually mates up perfectly to the turbo. I'm gonna cut this flange off. I'm gonna put a V-band on here, which will actually give us a little more rotation on it in case it's touching anything that I don't want it to touch. And on the bottom, it mates up to the other half of the downpipe almost perfectly. So everything fits very well. I was very skeptical about it, and off camera, I was cursing the storm up on this thing, but now that everything is in and we have everything moved, I can see how it's all gonna come together. The wastegate we ran, the dump tube that comes with the kit, it also clears, comes out the bottom and goes where it's supposed to go. Everything is like exactly where it's supposed to be, but we're probably gonna cut it off, put it up the hood. You know, that's just kind of what we do. So stay tuned, we'll get to a little more, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up for this video. This is gonna be part 1 of about 3 or 4 of this install video because it is a lot of work. I do still have to get the transmission out, change the clutch, things like that. We'll put all that in there probably. But I really can't stop staring at this. The fit is good. It really is. So for anyone thinking about turboing one of these cars, one of these or an EP3, this is a good budget kit. It really is. You can go with a more expensive kit, let's say a full race or a sheepy or schmuck. They are awesome. But for what I'm doing here, I'm actually very surprised with the way that this is coming out. I think that if we move a couple more things around, we'll get a little bit better of a fit. But for what we did back here, heat wrapping everything and moving it out of the way, it's a little tedious. But it's something that you have to do if you want to do what I'm going to do and drive this car. It's not a race car, it's not a track car, it's going to be a street car. I'm going to drive it around. It's not a daily, but I do need to be able to drive it. We're going to leave everything mocked up for now. We're going to come back in the next video, take everything back apart, heat wrap the manifold, the downpipe and everything. I'm going to get a turbo blanket for this. I'm going to show you guys how to install all that. I do have to get a 60-degree coupler for here. It did come with a 45, but it's meant for the stock intake manifold, which is more straightforward and down. This skunk 2 intake manifold kind of moves things around a little bit. But other than that, this hot side fits great. Cold side, we'll mess with that. It's not a big deal. For anyone that doesn't have the means of fabrication, you know, you may want to stick with stock manifold, because if it is stock, everything does fit. You don't have to cut or do anything. But we'll leave it off here for now, and we'll get back to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.